Oh, okay, guys. Hey, guys, we're back again. Back for a Sunday night webinar for you guys at 100x Crypto Academy. Yeah, I thought we'd do a quick early one today because yeah, we're pretty busy with just family stuff and yeah, just offline stuff that we've been pretty busy with. Um, so yeah, I thought let's just have a quick chat and see you guys do it early because I think we might go out for dinner later. I don't know if we will, but there's an option there because we get we go to this place and it's like $8 and it's just down the road. They get we know when you get to when you keep on going to a place and they get to know you. I don't know whether it's a good or bad thing, but this place is you pay $8 and it's like Korean barbecue, um, but it's on coals. So you go and sit down, and then they bring this big ass thing. It's huge, and then first of all they drop the coals, and then they bring this huge pot, and it's like a pot that you put the liquid in, but then in the middle of it, it's got like another dome shape, so you can cook your meat in the middle, and on the side, and then on the side is the soup. So you get two things, and they put it on hot coals, so it's on hot coals and gives it a flavor. Anyway, this thing's $8. I don't know about you, wherever you blokes listening in, or where you're at, because some of this stuff it might be cheap where you guys live, or it might be expensive. But where I live, $8 is a bargain, and you get the Korean barbecue stuff, which is the pork. They like the thin strips of pork that just you put it on there, and they just cook really fast, and they crisp up. Yeah, it's just thinking about it's just making me hungry. And you got the beef, then you got the prawns, you got all the different meats. All right, and the Thai people they get into the offals and stuff. They love the offals, heart and all that shit. I don't eat that. Then you got all the veggies. You got spring rolls, fried rice, you got some fried food, and then you got all the veggies that you put into the soup, and then you got fruits, platter of fruits, and then you got the ice cream for $8. And I don't know about you, but you can't even cook your meal. Well, I remember back in Australia, we were talking about this before. I mean, I don't know what it is like now because I've been back for a while, but I know that it was pretty expensive when I left in 2017, 2016, actually. Things are getting expensive. And I believe they're pretty expensive now, Garth.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, what's
Yep.
cost of living now these days like?
Oh, well, I don't know. Just some things like, I don't know, pay $6 for 2 liters of milk, $6 for one loaf of bread. And these were things like you used to be able to buy a loaf of bread for $2, used to buy milk for $2. And yeah, like chicken's expensive, and you can't even get like normal meat, just way off the charts. It's too expensive, can't afford it. So yeah, I mean, there's people that
Mm.
probably can, I suppose, but yeah, it's just one of those things. It's very yeah, very expensive. So yeah, I don't know. I think you sort of you need with the what's going on is there's a whole problem with like I suppose the cost of living, and it sort of starts with the housing, right? With how much it costs for housing, and then of course you got the food prices going up, and there's another thing they've just announced was 25% increase in electricity. So it's not like 1, 2, 3% or whatever. We're talking 25%, and electricity is a big part of what you spend your money on. And I mean, you've got housing, food, transport, I suppose, like automotive and stuff like that. And yeah, like once they put the prices up, the thing is that the wages don't go up. Like the same
Yes.
money I make, on wages now, I
Mm.
was making 20 years ago. So that gives you an
Yes.
idea. And I talk to lots of people, and they literally are on the same money for 20 years, but everything's went up tenfold in price. So it's actually quite interesting. This is how the system is rigged, and it's one of those things you don't really understand when you're younger. And I probably wish I did. No one really told me back then, and a little bit late now. But when when you sort of get into this whole thing about once they went into the fractional banking and they print money, right? What's going on is the people who are working jobs, they're basically wages are going to stay relatively, they're not really going to increase too much. But what happens is the cost of living goes up, and the reason for that is because printing of money. But the wealthy, they actually hold assets that appreciate with inflation, so they don't lose out. But if you don't have assets that are tied to inflation, then you're going to completely lose out. And this is why countries have that greater, where they've got people who don't have money and then people with a lot of money, and that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the divide. And you see that in other countries, and they sort of become third world countries. Well, I feel that's like happening here in Australia, because it's, I was talking to a friend of mine who has people rent out their houses with students from overseas, and he was saying to me that that when they come to Australia, and he was saying from different countries, but he was also talking about the Philippines, they'd come here and they would try and earn money, or and then send back. But what happens is now to get a room, like a room is between $200 and $250 a week. And as a student, it's very difficult to make that kind of money. And if it's a working visa, it's also very hard to get that. So what they're saying now is like, don't come to Australia; it's too expensive, and that's what's happening. But apparently, we've signed some sort of agreement that we're bringing in 100,000 people from India per month into Australia. I think it's India. We've got some agreement, so we're going to be bringing a lot more people, and that will increase the the housing shortage, and it'll be interesting. So this is what sort of happens in a lot of countries, and all I see is the cities and the wealthy will keep on getting wealthy because they own the assets, but the people who are in jobs are going to be replaced. And what's fascinating to me, and this is to do with we saw ChatGPT and artificial intelligence, and we talked about robotics and stuff like that previously. I've seen. You only have to spend 5 minutes on YouTube and type in a few things, and you literally see all these jobs replaced with robots. And everyone laughs about it, but it won't be too long when someone like McDonald's is completely automated and there's just no people there. Because I've seen there's actually restaurants that exist now which are completely robotic, which people get served their food, and the food is cooked by robots. And you can look at that on YouTube and go search them up. But nearly all sorts of jobs that they counted on, truck drivers, warehousing drivers, people that work in restaurants, waiters, checkout chicks, which are already been wiped out now by machines and self-serve. So all these jobs are going, and the people own these companies. They're going to still increase in value, but the people who work jobs, there will be nothing there for people in jobs. So it's going to make them, I don't know what they're going to do. They talk about maybe they're going to be on government benefits or something like that, but it's a real dilemma that exists because of this. And that's why you really need to think outside the box and do something now before it's too late.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we saw this happen in the 1940s, 1950s. I was watching this documentary about this tomato revolution, and had this guy Chavez, which people won't know, and he was basically campaigning for 50,000 people because they were picking these tomatoes, and he was campaigning for those people to get fair wages because these people were working in the fields for 30 cents an hour. And this happened, and he ended up getting those people higher wages. So what happens was the factories that produced all these tomatoes in America, they basically automated everything. And now they have one of the most efficient, even more efficient than China and more efficient than Italy. And it's all automated. And now it's just a huge, big ass tractor with a thing like this, and it just scoops up all the tomatoes. And this thing is huge. So there's no need now for 50,000 people in the hot sun picking these tomatoes at 30 cents. They've eradicated all that, and now they've got machines to do it. And this documentary was very interesting. And they said that at the end of it, they said this is great because the people got higher wages. but then the factory just eliminated them all. They lost all their jobs anyway in the end. But this is the biggest problem: is all these companies, they're all talking about, trying to cut costs so then they have bigger profits. But what that does for the long term for the population is exactly what you said. It forces people out of jobs, and then that has a whole effect on everything else. It's like your body, right? If you've got something that's stuffed up with your arm, or you got like a disease that's like eating your arm away, it's going to affect your whole body. So that's what people don't understand. These companies don't understand that by them doing that sort of stuff and automating stuff, people are going to be out of jobs. Then that's going to cause a ripple effect, and then there's like people are going to revolt, and then they're going to go against the system, and then there's going to be like a war.
Homeless people.
So, and then we pay more taxes to then substitute to take care of those people. So it's going to be a big divide. It's coming again, and it's in effect now. I don't know what's going to happen over the next 50 years, but it's going to be a bigger divide. So, it's going to be, like obviously we do crypto stuff. So we either either end of it, So Bulldog Brown French Dog says, hello, hey guys, how you going, mate?
G'day,
well.
G'day, buddy.
So like we always, so everything that's happening around the world is really kind of going to have an effect on what we do as well in crypto. And crypto's I see crypto as just a tool to then, better your life. That's the way I see it. And I see Bitcoin as just, again, another thing that you can buy, hold long term. And then, look, at the end of the day, it's just a tool. You've got to, that's the way I look at it. It's not something that you fall in love with. When it goes up in value, at some point you're going to sell it. And at some point I'm going to sell. I'm not going to hold this thing till I go to the grave. What's the point? So, you just keep that in mind for later on, because the end goal is to get more money to have a better life. There's a couple of things I just want to quickly touch on. There's like a lot of these airdrops. So these airdrops, they're a good way for you to make pretty much free money. And we saw the big airdrops back in the day. They went far, they probably last couple of years. Uniswap was a big one, and you just had to interact with Uniswap, and you got the airdrop, which I did. I think many of you guys did too. They gave you like 1,200 coins, which is great. And then there was Optimism. I didn't get onto that one, but there's a couple of airdrops there. People made quite a bit of cash with that. I think one guy made like 100 grand from Optimism. So I think these airdrops can be very valuable because if you interact with their testnet early, and they actually do something, go somewhere, you can actually get these airdrops, and they can become very valuable. But what I found was they're only going to be very valuable if it's like a major project, and that's kind of like the deal. Like Uniswap was a big deal. Optimism's like a new layer. So then there was a few other ones. So if they're going to be a big project and they're well funded, and they're a big deal in the crypto space, then if they do an airdrop and you get it, you can make a lot of money. Like, anywhere from say a couple $100 to a couple of thousand to tens of thousands. It just depends on how, what you do. So anyway, so this one here is ZK Sync, and I posted this in the Discord, okay, under airdrops. And basically, I went through this whole process. You can buy a domain. Now they're saying that it's guaranteed for an airdrop if you do this. So that's why I did it. What you do is you just come to this link for this Medium will be in the Discord, okay? It's under airdrops, under Ethereum level, all right? And then you just get this airdrop. You just go to ZK Domains, and then you connect up with ZK Sync, the mainnet, right? Or it'll prompt you to add the protocol network to MetaMask, or you can just, if it doesn't, just go to chainlist.org. And then once you connect up your wallet, switch it to ZK Sync. Now, you have to buy a domain name. Domain name costs about $6. Pick any domain name, search, and then just click on it, and then you can buy it, right? Now, the problem is you need to have Ethereum on there. So you need to swap Ethereum over from Ethereum to ZK Sync, right? And to do that, you have to go to the bridge, which is what I discovered. So obviously, you discover it when you do it. And this is the bridge here, right? So you just connect up your MetaMask. Yeah, so you connect up. Hang on, let me just, I don't know why it's doing that. It's weird. You connect up your MetaMask. Oh, what's doing that for? So, it's probably worth it doing it, because you could get this airdrop. They're saying that you will get it. You just go to this bridge again. All this information's in the Discord. You connect up, and then you swap ETH for the ZK Sync. No, it's not doing it. Okay, it's probably just lagging. Anyway, you just got to send Ethereum to the ZK Sync. It'll just send it to the same wallet, okay? And it takes 15 minutes. So when you send it and you pay the gas, you're probably like, where's my shit? It's like, did I just get scammed? No, you didn't. It takes 15 minutes. When it shows up, eventually it'll show up. And then you'll have Ethereum, which is like the gas, on ZK Sync. And then you can buy the domain name. So then, you go back here and you go buy the domain name. Call it whatever you want. And then what you do is, once you get the domain name, you can follow these instructions. You want to move it over, cross-chain, click here. So it says cross-chain, click it over, and then move it over to Polygon. And you might be able to get another airdrop for zero layer. So this is like, you might be able to get 2 airdrops by doing this, but they're saying you're going to get a guaranteed airdrop by doing this. So the total cost of this is about $8 or $9. But I just did it because if I get an airdrop, great. If I don't get an airdrop, I've still got a domain name, which I can use for ZK Sync. That's the way I look at it. So, but if I do get an airdrop and it's worth a couple $100, I only paid like $9 to do it. And I can always flip my Ethereum back over, which I don't actually have much Ethereum on there anyway. It's not even going to be worth it. Back over to on the bridge. So that's something there. It might be profitable. It might not be. Now, I heard that when I was on Twitter, there's like people buying up hundreds of these domains because it's guaranteed. They reckon it's guaranteed, right? So whatever the airdrop is, let's just say the airdrop's like a couple $100. You pay $8, $9 for a couple $100. You just use a different account, like create a new account on MetaMask, and then go and buy another domain, and then you get another airdrop, right? Now, I know that sounds stupid. It's like gaming the system, but you know what? I want to tell you this. Back in when Zen was it came out, right? That was kind of a big thing, and I minted about several accounts. Actually, I'll show you. I minted few accounts, and these are the accounts I minted, right? I've still got several accounts here on ETH and Matic, and these ones are coming up. 350 days is coming up later, and then there's 300 days. These 300 days here, these ones here, these are all coming up in about 60 days, right? All these ones here are all coming up. Right now, each Zen's it's about $26 for 21 million Zen. So if you would have minted Zen, right, and you would have just kept on minting them, back then the gas wasn't that high. It was only like $5. Yeah, I remember it was like $5 or $6. If you just kept on minting them back when it just started and just kept on minting them and just didn't stop, every day now you could have been cashing out Zen, and you could do 100 a day, whatever, right? every transaction you would have made $26 minus the $5, so you would have made about $19 per account. And when I look at it now, I'm like, holy shit, I minted 20 here on Matic, but I won't be able to get. I did 400 days with that one. I don't know. I got 4 million per account, 40 million per account. There's 20 of them. So, I don't know what's going to be worth when Zen comes. But just goes to show you, right? That airdrop was just a free mint, actually. Who was to know? like $46, $46 for each one. After I cash it out, but I won't be able to cash it out till later, and this is going to continue to go down. Who knows? Could go up. But anyway, this is what I'm saying, right? Some of these things sometimes they do well, and you can make a bunch of money. Sometimes they don't do well. But the airdrops, they're a bit of a hit and miss, and you could get lucky. But if you get onto the right ones, you can make a bunch of money. And I look, when I look back on it, I wish, like, I'm selling my Zen. I'm like, I'm not a believer. I'm just like, give me the Zen. This is what I paid for it. This is what I want to cash out, and I want to cash it out. All right. So when I look back on it, I did a few mints. I probably did 30 mints or something. I should have just kept on minting. I should have done 1,000 mints, because every time I would have been minting, I would have been cashing out today. And there's people that did that. They did 100 mints that day. On day one, they would have got the most, and then they just kept on doing it. But hindsight 2020, like, who would have known, right? So it's free money, guys. Anyway, so have a look at the airdrops. I reckon it's worth doing, because you never know. Some of them are free as well, so you don't have to spend much money. You can just do. Sometimes it's just a little bit of gas, but you never know, right? If it goes off, it could be like a couple $100. Could be a couple thousand. It's just roll of a dice. So I'll post more stuff in the Discord for airdrops, because there's a lot of big airdrops now. It's like airdrop season. There's all these layer ones coming out, layer twos. So it's worth spending some time to just dive into them and have a bit of a play around with them, okay? Because you could get lucky and you could make a quick couple thousand. So that's just all I wanted to say about the airdrop stuff. I'll keep posting in the Discord for you guys as well, because it's pretty important, because there's a lot of them out there now and you never know, right? But other than that, mate, like I said, I try not to get too deep into the politics of the crypto. There's a lot of shit happening right now, and with the government and these ETFs and all this crap that's going on, you can get all political, or you can get all philosophical about it and get right into it. And I try not to do that, because it'll just get you just get frustrated, because it's not going to affect. Short term, it's going to affect maybe, but long term, in my opinion, it's not going to affect Bitcoin. Bitcoin will just keep on doing what it's doing. And all this stuff is just, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's just noise right now. But if you're looking 7 years from now with Bitcoin, the long term, all this day-to-day stuff is just going to do your head in. It's just going to get you frustrated about crypto. It's going to get you negative about crypto, and all these bad actors doing the shady stuff. And then you're just going to get frustrated. But if you just stick to buying the top crypto that are solid, like Bitcoin, and then you could go deeper with Ethereum, Um, Litecoin's having a run. Solana's having a run. Bitcoin Cash is having a run, actually. Um, and all these other ones that you like. I think you should be fine. You should be fine. You're not going to get frustrated, and to worry about all the day-to-day shit that you see in the media. This is what's going to, give you a second guess. Is all the stuff that we see in the media? It's like exactly like with crypto. All the shit that we're seeing on the war of Ukraine, and then the sub it was last week, and then this week it's I don't know something else. There's always something new in the media, and it's like consuming you. And this is what happens with crypto. So try not to let that stuff consume you, and stay away from social media if you can, and just focus on getting more Bitcoin, because that's what's going to long term, in my opinion, is going to be the game changer. Is getting more Bitcoin, because once this thing goes to it's going to rocket. I just feel that next year, maybe not this year, but next year, I think it's going to do like 100K. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Garth?
Yeah, I'm starting to think that away. Like you say, you don't want to get too consumed with what's going on, I suppose. And we thought that maybe Bitcoin would be a lot further than what it is. But at the moment we've got a lot of big companies that have got those ETFs in there, and it only takes one to get the ETF, and then people like, for example, in Australia, in your superannuation, which is sort of compulsory, there'll be a checkbox where you can say, yeah, I want to have exposure to crypto. And so you'll tick a box, and, BlackRock or whoever is out here, they will hold that Bitcoin, and that'll be on your portfolio for your superannuation. Now, because it's compulsory in this country, you probably got, I don't know, 10 million people that have got superannuation. That's a lot of Bitcoin that people have to buy, and it's a tick box. So I see it as, and if this happens in other countries as well, I just think that will force the price of Bitcoin up, and I think also naturally it's going to happen in all those other countries, whereby their currency, the local currency, has failed. I think a lot of them will use Bitcoin and other cryptos, which they're already using now. So yeah, and there'll be a lot of stuff that is not even invented, or not even on the radar yet, that will come to fruition in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So it's early days. We don't even know what it's going to turn out to be like. But yeah, at least we're along for the ride for it. So it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff that's happened, I know it does matter. I know it matters, because obviously what happens in the world is going to matter, right? Financially, it's going to affect everyone. But I like to look at the more, not surface level, but more kind of like what the changes are. And what I found was China's going broke, right? Because what's happened is they are trying to they've actually just fixed their legislation actually for cryptocurrency, and this started in Hong Kong. So they banned crypto altogether, right? Mining. Now all of a sudden they've released this new digital legislation for digital assets in Hong Kong first, because they want to basically take over. But China's basically broke, right? And because what happened is, back in 50 years ago, we were buying all this shit from them, and the cheap labor was there. And then now everyone's like better off. They got cars, they got units. The whole of society of China has now got to a point where they're now in the middle class. There's still poverty there, but not what it was before. So it's like, well, we're not going to be producing widgets for $2 now. They're going to be producing widgets for $5. No one's going to be buying them. The cost of everything is going up in China. So what the Chinese are doing now is they're actually doing what we did to them, right? What we did to them was America said, look, here, have our manufacturing. The Europeans said, here's our German technology machines. Take our shit, right? But the agreement is, you're going to produce our XYZ in your country, and it's going to be cheap as chips. And then you've got to send us that product or whatever XYZ is, right? But we'll give you the technology because they didn't have it. They weren't smart enough. They just didn't have the know-how. Europe, America did it. They already had it. Pretty much sublet all the shit to China, and then produce all the cheap shit so then they could bring it back to and sell it. They could make more money. Now China is like, okay, now we've got the technology. We're now going to do the same to you, but then the cost of living's gone up, so they can't do it anymore. They can't produce cheap. So now, you know what they're doing? They're getting the machines, the technology that they got from America and Europe. Now they're bringing it into other countries.
Third world
they're
countries.
doing, third world countries. Because they're still, I don't know if you can call them a third world country. I don't think.
Or developing.
Yeah. So now they're doing the same and they're going into Vietnam. They're going into Africa with the same stuff, with the same machines. Here's the machines. And so there's a shift. So why am I even telling you this? Because the economic shift, there's going to be a shift of all this money that's flying around the world. Now China's broke. They're trying to make more money, and America's trying to make more money, although they're printing it. So everyone's trying to make more money. They're trying to figure out a way, which is the best way to make more money. And the opportunities are in the developing countries because the labor's cheap. And then now it's Africa. Now it's Africa. And Africa's experiencing this boom. And how they're doing it is with the cheap labor, and they have the good soil, with agriculture. And that's where Africa is. You'll see Africa in the next 50 years explode, just like China. And then it's going to be like another country. They're going to become too rich to, So that's where the opportunities are. But also with Africa, I think that once they get lifted up with, they're going to be driving around new cars, because they're all making money now, right? They don't have mud huts anymore. They got like big ass apartments, and they got brand new cars from China, and they've lifted themselves up. And then you'll see that now they're savvy with the digital stuff, and then they'll start to lift up, and then they'll get into more so crypto and everything. So it's going to have this effect, right? Ripple effect all around the world, and so we're really lucky in a way that I think that cryptocurrency is not going to go away. It's just going to keep on morphing and develop, and China's going to come back into it, and all these other developing countries will then realize that it's a great hedge against the fiat dollar, or even digitize their own currency. So I think we're in a really good position. If you look at the grand scheme of things, sorry I had to give you the long-winded thing, but I wanted you to understand that everything that's happening around the world is going to affect us, what we do with crypto. And we're really lucky because we're so early with Bitcoin and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's going to be the next generation that's going to be chomping at this stuff. So we're really lucky to have Bitcoin where it is now, because we've got a couple of halvings to go till the end of 2030, and that's going to, in my opinion, is going to push it to multiple six figures with Bitcoin. If we don't see 100K Bitcoin next year, then I'm just going to quit crypto. I just think we will. 2024 is going to be like 100K. It's going to be 100K. I'm dead set at, if not, it's going to be, I don't know. I just think it's going to be 100K a year. So keep on getting your Bitcoin. Other than that, just trying to just look at it. I'm trying to not get consumed at a low level, and just trying to look at the big picture with the stuff that we do, and kind of position ourselves, and everything will do what they do. And hopefully we'll have enough Bitcoin and cryptocurrency that once everyone else just decides, oh shit, we need this Bitcoin. Yeah, it's like never been hacked. It keeps on getting less and less. Once they get into it, then that's when the price will go up. Other than that, I don't know. Anything else that you might want to? If you have any questions, guys, just comment if you want.
Yeah, I'll quickly show a chart, because I do like to show a chart.
Yeah, we always like the charts, mate.
Yeah, let me just bring it up here. All right, let's look at BTC. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is a daily chart, Bitcoin on USD. We're looking back. This is beginning of January when it was about 16K. Oh, 16K. That's sweet. And then you can see here there's little HH and LL. These means higher high, and that means a lower low. This is just some analysis on here. We had a bit of a change here, and we went to a higher high. So sort of February here, high, and we've actually went to new highs recently. Right, we're at 31. That's actually hasn't registered right now, but this is actually a higher than normal than this particular high. So it's very interesting, and we're sort of halfway through the year, and basically from December we went from remember it was like, oh, it's going to 10K, it's going to 10K, and it went to 30K, right? And where like at the moment it's very, what would I say, non-volatile. Like it's literally been tracking along at 30K for so long. Like it rarely stays, like if you remember Bitcoin over here, it rarely stayed at any price level very long at all. But this, like when it was at 15K, like between November and January, like it stayed at that. It was hardly any volatility. And then we had this big move that we all saw, which we thought was the start of the bull run, but it sort of petered out. But we're seeing this sort of same thing again, the holding at 30K. And I think it has to, has to be certain conditions. We have to see the government in America printing money again. We have to see inflation continuing to go up. And then people, it's a no-brainer because they go Bitcoin is like an alternate asset. They look at it, like BlackRock recently was saying, that it's like a digital gold. Well, we've heard that before by others, but BlackRock wasn't even interested in Bitcoin too long ago, but now they hold so much Bitcoin, it's crazy. And that's their idea, is they're buying it up now because they know what's going to happen in the future. So they want to be holding massive amounts of Bitcoin at their advantage. So I think, we could see definitely easily back up to where it was, which was 68K. And it's just going to take simple things like, superannuation, which is these ETFs, and then like all these funds starting to say, okay, we need a 0.1 allocation of Bitcoin, for example. Well, someone's got to hold that Bitcoin, and it might be BlackRock. So then they go, okay, that's fine. But at some stage, someone's got to buy it and buy it from the market. So I think it's going to go back up. I definitely think we're going to see 100K. I'd like to think that's going to happen in the next 12 months, especially with the halving coming up. And in the past, it has. And but yeah, I mean, you can trade this, but honestly, if you just DCA it, that's probably the best way, because what you're looking for is to get into something that's not eroding like local currencies, like the Aussie dollar, like the American dollar. They're just getting inflated away. But Bitcoin is not getting inflated away. It literally is getting less and less. I mean, there's a fixed supply, but less and less is being emitted with each halving. It's just a fixed supply. Like there's no pretend, and eventually, everyone's going to discover that, and the price is just going to stabilize. Who knows? Maybe a 500,000 million. I'm not sure what it's going to stabilize at, but it's going to be a lot. And it's just still early days. We're only at 30K. So yes, my thoughts on that one at the moment.
Well, Bitcoin miners are basically the hash rate is at an all-time high of where it's in forever, meaning there's more people mining Bitcoin today than ever. This is the hash rate.
Yeah.
This is the network hash rate.
Incredible.
It's at
All-time
480. It's at an all-time high right now. So that tells you that people are still buying mining machines because they're mining Bitcoin like crazy. And obviously Bitmain's still making a killing. But why do they keep on buying machines when they're not as profitable now because of the mining hash rate that just keeps on going up and up and up? They keep on buying machines because they know that if Bitcoin's 30K, but if they can hold that Bitcoin and it gets to all-time highs, that they'll basically recoup their investment back in half the time. But then long term, if they can sustain that and sell some of their Bitcoin off to pay for the electricity, or become more, it's just basically a game of how much they can produce the Bitcoin for, what electricity, and how efficient their machines are. That's basically the Bitcoin race. That's how you become profitable. Like how efficient you are, how cheap is your electricity, how good are your machines, and how long you can sustain next to the next competitor. And long term, you're mining Bitcoin now. It might cost you $16K to produce a Bitcoin, right? Let's just say that hypothetically you're solo mining and you win a block. And it costs you $16,000 to get that, but you're making $30K. But if you look at it long term, when Bitcoin's a couple $100,000, or maybe it's like 500,000 or 600,000 or $1 million one day, in the long term future, they're mining it today. That's why the hash rate keeps on going up, because they see the long term future of it. And that's why a lot of these things go bust, because they don't manage it. They can't manage the electricity or whatever for whatever reason. And then still, there's been a ton of Bitcoin mining farms that have gone bust. But yet, look at the hash rate. It's still at an all-time high. So people are still buying machines and replacing them, because they know that one day Bitcoin is going to be a massive amount of money. And if they can mine it now and hold it and try to hold off on their selling it, they're going to be filthy rich in the future. So you've just got to study this stuff, and you realize, holy shit, we're so early. So just try to get, and you don't have to mine it if you don't want to. Just buy it and hold it. Then you don't have to invest anything. You don't have to invest a couple $1,000 in a machine. Just buy it and hold it, guys. That's all I'm saying. And think long term with it. Anyway, thanks for coming on, Garth, and thanks everyone for tuning in. If you have any comments, just jump into the Discord and stuff. Check out those airdrops, because it's all free money. It's pretty much just gas. And that ZK, do some more research on that ZK Sync one. Check it out on Twitter and Google. But apparently it's like a guaranteed airdrop with that if you buy that domain. So, might get lucky. Because I know for a fact that if you go on Twitter, people are buying these domains. They're buying hundreds of these domains right now, because they've been told that it guarantees you an airdrop. So when ZK Sync, which is kind of like they're not a big deal. They're not like Uniswap, but they're going to be pretty big. I don't know how big, but that's the word on the street. You buy a domain, we're going to guarantee you an airdrop. So it's only going to be more than $8 or $9. So it's just like a basic maths, right? If you get an airdrop and it's, I don't know, $20, you're still going to make $10 because you just spent a domain name for. That's how they're thinking. So they're just thinking, hey, you know what? Let's buy 100 of these domains. Let's buy 1,000 of these domains. And just with the Zen, when I was talking about before, when I look back hindsight, I should have just kept on minting them for $5 a pop for every mint. Cost me $5. I should have just kept on minting them 100, 200, 300, 1,000 of them, because now it's still returning $26. Take away my mint price was $5, and then now my unmint price is probably still about $5. I'm still making $16 for every mint. Problem was I didn't mint enough of them. So we'll keep you guys updated with the airdrop stuff, because it's going to be very interesting. Start to see these Twitter posts. Hey, I just made 50,000 from an airdrop. And he's like, shit. You cringe, So anyway, it is what it is. So
yep.
Have a good week, guys, and we'll see you in the Discord, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys. Bye.
Catches.